Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to Seriously, where we take cereals seriously. My name is Alex, and today on Seriously, we're doing something very exciting. We are taking a look at a retro cereal classic. Here it is, Quisp. Quisp was first released in 1965 along with a partner cereal, the lesser-known Quake, and featured a brilliant marketing campaign with characters designed by Jay Ward, most famous for creating Rocky and Bullwinkle. Many people remember those old school commercials fondly, and keeping the same mascot this whole time means that nostalgia has always remained very high here. Even having this cereal box on display behind me on the shelf in a few past episodes has led people to leave comments about how glad they were to see it there. People remember loving this cereal. Quisp himself as a mascot is a little alien guy with antennae that double as a propeller and help him fly around. In the commercials, Quisp promises that this cereal is vitamin charged to give you crazy energy. I love that. The most odd thing about this cereal, though, and what I think actually helps make it a classic, is that it has spent the past 6 decades disappearing and reappearing on store shelves seemingly at random. It was released in the 60s, then it disappeared in 1979. Then it reappeared in 1985. Then it disappeared again and then came back in the 1990s, then again in 2001, then again even more recently. It sometimes appears on store shelves, but it's also known for being one of the first cereals to be marketed heavily as being sold online. I bought this box several years ago when it was available for a very short time at my local grocery outlet, which is a discount grocery store in my area. And that brings us to the real challenge of this episode. If you're wondering why we're reviewing this cereal in the middle of kind of the Halloween spooky season, is that I did want to review this cereal, and I will today, but I'm a little scared. I think this may be the oldest box of cereal that I've ever reviewed on this channel. I bought this cereal in 2019, and according to the box, it expired in 2020, over 4 years ago. Now, I've eaten expired cereals before on Seriously and can usually get past the mustiness and staleness to still give it a fair shake. There's nothing poison about expired cereals. They just taste old. Now, there's an important irony here, which is that I might put myself through something dramatic for today's review, only to have this pop back up in store shelves in, I don't know, next week or a month. That's the kind of risk I'm willing to take for you, the viewer, and me to have an enjoyable time making this channel. So, what do you think? I'd love for you to let me know in the comments if you, back in the day, tried this cereal and what you thought. Or if you haven't tried it, let me know if you would ever pick it up if it does get re-released. Because maybe some of you have the same questions as me. Does the taste of the cereal, at least in its fresh form, match the huge nostalgia that surrounds it? Does it deserve its place as a beloved retro cereal? Or is it just a case of brilliant on-again, off-again marketing? Friends, it's time to eat some stale cereal. Hey, if you made it this far, you are crazy nice to me. Would you do me one more favor? Would you like this video? That would really help me out. Okay, I've been getting myself pumped. I think I am ready here. I have got my bowl. I've got my spoon. I have got my non-old 1% milk. And then I have my quite old Quisp cereal. I think it's finally time to open this baby up and see what it tastes like, or see if we can figure out what it used to taste like. Oh, hey, I am noticing that because this is a Quaker cereal, sometimes Quaker does this where the opening is actually reversed than usual. I can open this box with you still seeing the cover. I know that's a very small detail, but if you open as many cereal boxes as I do, you will think that's wildly interesting. Boy, this doesn't bode well for the freshness of this 5-year-old cereal, because I don't know if you can see, the bag has little cuts in it all the way down, as if they want air to be circulating. That's probably the last thing in the world that I would have wanted to see in this very old cereal, is that the bag has been basically open this whole time. I don't think that's a manufacturing mistake. I think they did that for the purposes of freshness. Now, not freshness for 5 years. As far as the cereal itself goes, it is unbelievably pale compared to what I expected. I have heard this cereal described as being very similar to Cap'n Crunch, and on the box, it definitely looks like that. You can see that it's almost like an orangey yellow. Here, though, it's much more of a pale yellow, which just does not bring the same zing to it. It still, for what it's worth, looks puffy. I like these little shapes. It almost looks like that pasta. What is that pasta? Orchette? Something like that. It has kind of a bowl shape, a shell scoop shape to it. That's cool. I like that. I can't think of another cereal that has that shape. I don't know what that has to do with this little alien guy, but I still think it looks fun. All right, the moment of truth is here, friends. Let us try Quisp cereal from Quaker. It's not half bad. A miracle has occurred. Yeah, it's a little stale, but it's not repulsive. Oh, I'm so happy. What a relief this is for me. And I gotta say right off the bat, wonderfully sweet cereal. I can absolutely taste the comparisons to Cap'n Crunch because it has that same brown sugared taste to it. I think it's likely the same grain mix. I think Cap'n Crunch is corn and oats mix. Let's see if that's true. Yep, corn flour, sugar, whole grain, oat flour. Yep, so the same thing. And then brown sugar right on here. But let me give it one more taste dry. Boy, it's got a great lightness, a crispness, which is, I'm sure, where the name for crisp versus Quisp came from. It's puffy, almost like a puff Cheeto is puffy. Boy, I wonder if those little slits in the bag really did help it out because it tastes great. But I think it's time now to put some milk on it, see what that does to it. Let's give a try to Quaker's Quisp in milk. Boy, I don't know if it's just the relief of it not being horrifically bad that is making me feel this way, but I am like loving it. Why do they keep taking this off the market? How strange. It's good enough where I think people would definitely like it on the regular. You know what it is for me? It is so shockingly similar to the taste of Cap'n Crunch, and that's why I'm loving it. Maybe it's not on the market for that very reason, because it's so similar. Let me give it another try. One significant difference than Cap'n Crunch is I'm not cutting the top of my mouth up, which slightly stale Cap'n Crunch can do. Maybe it's the more rounded edges of Quisp here that isn't making me worry about that. Maybe it's the fact that this is 5 years old. It has softened a little bit, makes it not carry that same type of risk. I don't know what it is, but I feel safer with Quisp. Thank you, Quisp. But back to similarities, you know what else this has is that bite of salt that I love so much. It does have wonderful sugar, brown sugar sprayed on it, but it has just enough salt to keep it almost tangy. Something refreshing is happening here. Wow, this is fantastic. Well, I could not be happier about this, except maybe for the color. And you'll have to tell me if you remember eating this in the past. Is it always been the color I'm looking at, which is actually far closer to say like a Rice Krispies, or maybe closer to a Kix, something beigeish, yellowish like those cereals, very much not close to the yellow oranginess of a Cap'n Crunch. Other than that, I am a huge fan. I am going to give this a 4.5. Now, let me make this clear. I am giving it a 4.5 of what I think I would feel about it if this were a fresh box. Truth be told, it's not that bad. Again, I would maybe have to take off a half a point or a point for the fact that I can totally tell that it's been sitting around for 5 years. But still, the experience I'm having of joy, of relief, of old school retro nostalgia for a cereal that's been around for a long time and is beloved by fans of several generations, I think it's worth every bit of that 4.5 rating. Quisp, you're a classic for a reason, and I'm so glad that some of you Seriously watchers pushed me to review this cereal that I've had for so long. Well, friends, we have done it all. We talked, we ate, we risked our very mouths by eating an over 5-year-old cereal that was long since expired and came out all the better for it. But now it's enough. Now listen, if you want to try today's cereal for yourself, you may be out of luck, at least for a while. I have heard rumors that this was recently available at ShopRite's in northern New Jersey, but I have no personal proof of that. In fact, when I've reached out to friends in New Jersey, they either didn't answer me or weren't able to send me a box because they couldn't find it either. Still, you'll just have to wait and hope that it gets re-released for whatever, the 8th or 15th time, which is totally possible. And if that happens, please pick up a box. Now, listen, if you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with what cereal we should look at together in a future episode. Until then, never be soggy, my friends. Bye-bye.